Montre Bennett, the founder of Kingdom Building Ministries, Kingdom Building 87 Ministries, which is the year I was born. What I do, ever since I was a kid, I was involved with community. As I grew up, went to college, I came back. I worked some years. I got back in community, and I've been in community since. I live in Derry Beach. The set is where I do my community work at. Um, Between community, I went through some tragic life problems where my son was tragically hit by a truck, which I had to see with my own eyes. And it led me on a spiritual journey, which I would say as a kid, I was very much in tune to my spirituality and who I was and got detoured in this life. And now that I've been back in this position because of the transition of my son, my spiritual essence has unfolded, or I don't know if I say unfolded. It has come back into a presence in my life, I'ma say. Um, yeah.
Diversified Game. Learn how to start, run, and sustain your business.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, it's going to go deep. So if you're one of those and you try to run from the deep, you take it bits by bit so you can get the game. You might have to step back because with everything of somebody's great life, you may sometimes not hear the tragedy in it. But in that intro, you just heard losing and seeing what Montre has seen. That is wow. That's a PTSD symptom or a cause of it that I could think of and only want to imagine. And Montre, I say that because I've had to cut kids off from trying to hang themselves, working in group homes and drug rehabs and psych wards. So to see your own son in such a way, I can only imagine what that does, because I can still see it, the vision, like clear. And these weren't even my kids. This was a job. So I welcome you to Diversified Game on that deep message, but we're going to get into it. What you do in the community, I met you at the elders table right there. You said the set, that's Delray Beach for people don't know. And, we were able to break bread, real humble guy. I want to know if you can tell that 14-year-old or that 44-year-old right now that you're really living in your purpose. How did you get here? Because people want to do good, but they just don't know how to monetize good. They know how to monetize bad real well, real quickly. But please share your story, please.
So when I was a kid, I was involved with a nonprofit called the Knights of Pythagoras. It was a mentor network. And I seen that we were the junior Masons. I was the youngest person to ever join that group at 6. And I only joined it because my cousin, who also transitioned, him and my first son shared the same birthday, April the 9th. I joined the program because he was in that program and I wanted to do something. And within that program, we traveled. We had a boys choir. We sung. And as I became a senior in high school, I became the president of that organization for my last 2 years. So junior and senior year, I was the president of that, which put me out there more into the community. And I went off to college, Florida A&M. Although I did not graduate, I did attend. I only came back home because my firstborn came to be out into this life, and I went to working. And in the midst of me working, I was off for a week from work. President's Day, February 18th, 2013, and I slept real that night, and I woke up, and the first thing was on my mind was like, I got to get my son. I got to go spend some time with him. So I got up, took a shower, did what to do, and then I went over there to pick him up. And in the instance, in the twinkling of an eye, the whole story of my life just switched. But I say this, 2013, my son transitioned. My My transition January 2003, and I gave my son Malachi the middle name Demetrie after my cousin Serge because they were born the same day, April the 9th, in which I knew that's the same day they had Dr. King's funeral was April the 9th. And it was the spirit just be flowing through me through numbers. In my cousin transition when I was in high school, I was a junior. No, I was a sophomore. I was a sophomore in high school when my cousin transitioned, and I felt his transition take place in the midst of my sleeping. I was just, and I felt him just leave, and then maybe after I felt that feeling, I heard my mama call my name. I was like, I already know. Fast forward, I had a son. He was born, middle name, yada, yada, yada. I get my day off, and it's my first day off for a 2 week span. Get to see him for the first time in 2 weeks. I actually spoke to him, and this how spirit be working. I guess this how spirit be working. And I seen this truck coming. I told him, go back in the yard, and I'm going to go across the street. So he went back in the yard, and I went across the street. And then the spirit told me, the next thing the spirit said was, look into your rearview mirror. I looked in my rearview mirror. Lo and behold, I see my son, happy, giggly, and he ran out into the road. Froze, my body froze, and then I seen a truck ride by, but then the truck did not ride all the way by, and I heard a scream, a voice, and my son had got hit by a truck. That moment put me into the spot of a dark place, but it pushed me within my own self, which is where we have to go to in order to heal ourselves. We have to go in and deal with what's happening within to come out into this light. It's like a seed that's being planted in the ground. I don't know. Should I keep going, or you got something to say?
Well, I was, I'm gonna. That's so deep, and I want to make sure I give you the time to, express that because you, how do you heal from such a thing? I'm a person who I look at death like when the scriptures say you're supposed to cry when they're born and celebrate when they are leaving, but have you come to grips with that part? Because again, for me, I've dealt with it since I was at least 12, whether it's murder or however it goes. And my parents, I don't have, my biological parents anymore. They're past, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is that something that you can ever come and have some peace with and say, God, there has to be a reason, and maybe he to the reason, and you can say, okay, I can sit with that. Because some people would be very bitter. Some people would go in a dark space for a long time and do a lot of negative things, trying to get back at a God that, they're going to see. You're going
Mm-hmm.
to see him, whether you believe him or not. But where are you in that piece, that place of healing?
So that funny to see the spirit be working, and so my son was 2 when he was hit by the truck. My son now is who is living now is 8. I'm on the interview, and what was tragic about that, my son who was 8 now, the family who accidentally hit my son was living had to go to their daycare. I want to say he was 4 or 5. And that was a true testament to my faith and my strength and overcoming battles. And it's funny because I seen the man today in the truck that hit my son today. And I was like, what is this? Is this a test to me? But I would say going down into myself, into that dark hole, just like a seed is being planted, I had to go and just deal with my past. I had to go deal with issues that plagued my own life, maybe from things that I did when I was a kid. I ain't gonna say maybe things that I did when I was a kid. It made me just see me for who I am. It made me understand life as a whole. Again, just like that seed that get planted in that dark hole in the ground, you got to water it. It need the sun to give it the energy it need to grow. We have to do that same thing to ourselves. But before we could do that, we got to clean ourselves from the inside out. And our cleaning helps to heal us and grow through life circumstances, life tragedies, life whatever it may be that comes to you in this time. For myself, I cut my phone off. I didn't want to be bothered. I turned my phone off for a year straight on purpose because I didn't want to be bothered with nobody. I spent more time to myself, spend more time outside. And for me doing that, I began to really heal. And my connection to the spirit wasn't dampered, but it brought me to a better place with the spirit, which speaks to me often, which in my senses more known to myself, or should I say awareness more. You ever heard of the clairs, the clair audience, the clair? I can't say all of them because it's so many.
Clairvoyant.
All that. Yeah, I got
Mhm.
my spiritual gift been heightened because of me going in and healing myself, and it brings me to be more aware of what's going on within myself, but what's going on around me. And it's hard to hear somebody's thoughts. It's hard to get visions. It's hard to see things way beyond what's. But hey, somebody has to be out here to purvey the message for the spirit. So that
Now,
leaves me. Go ahead.
no, we because battling with that, and we're gonna get into the business, folks. I know many people say, "Well, how to do life? Like this is real life. Business is one thing, but this is real life." What did you have to do to get to this point? Did you have to go straight edge where I don't drink alcohol, I don't have sex, I don't eat certain things. Like somebody who might be battling this right now, trying to get their head and clear. What did it take for you to get to this point?
One thing I would say is so I drinking, I stopped smoking. I ain't said that I don't do it now, but I did stop at one point to get myself on a clear conscious, on a clear path, because I strive to be pure in all essence of my life. At that moment and that time, it forced me to slowly move into who I am today. So yes, I stopped eating certain things. I stopped drinking. I started after my son was hit. After I watched my son get hit, that's what made me start smoking weed. I ain't even smoke weed, but I drunk, been drinking since down high school, senior year. But I stopped all that stuff. But now I do things in moderation now. And what I found is we can do these things, but we have to not abuse these things. Because when we abuse these things, that's just like overeating, gluttony. When we abuse things, that's when life go the opposite direction. That's when our thoughts go the opposite direction. Excuse me.
And I want to be clear because you also are a chef. I know you are a chef, and you put an old school twist with the healthiness. But what you had described in the beginning of the interview is the reason why certain people get on certain hard drugs, and why somebody even listening or watching right now says this is why I did it. Because just like soldiers who came out of Vietnam and Iraq and Afghanistan, they saw things that they're trying to get the visions out of their head. And so you're talking about healthy food and healthy living. The cannabis, the doctors now say is medicine. Before the doctors, others said it was medicine. There are so many tribes and different people around the world, but the fentanyl is medicine too, somebody will say, right? And they'll say it in
Yeah.
moderation and if it's for you. So
Hmm.
I just want to make it clear to somebody, like, you aren't the only one going through stuff, but you can't just use stuff to clear your head. You're gonna have to come to grips with what happened. And I did not know that about you until you shared it. It's not like you were wearing that on your sleeve when we talked, which nobody could fault you if you did, because that is a major impact in your life. And it's one of those things people say it's not supposed to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you do all this and you don't want to see anybody, how do you forget just having a business? How do you even want to go to work or even pay bills? Like, how did you deal with that? Because I've known people who deal with it, and I want them to hear this, to hear how you did it.
I was in a so I'm blessed. I'm blessed. So in that for my life, writing was a tool to help me release. Uh, I say go in, but you have to do physical work too. So writing, walking, and just movement itself helped to ground me. Sitting outside in the sun and nature helped ground me. I was blessed to have a job that covered my son's burial arrangements, although I did have life insurance. But the life insurance helped me to just be able to relax a little bit and just focus on trying to heal. Now, I ain't gonna say that lasted forever, but I still had to go to work eventually. But knowing people, I went and worked for someone that I knew personally. I worked for their business for a couple of years, doing shipping and receiving. And that helped. Because I could move in a little way that's not too straining, but I could also go back and take time for myself. But eventually, I had to go. When I left there, I had to go work on other jobs. And what helped again was moving. So I had to go get on somebody's job to help me move and keep moving, not just focus on one thing. But at this time now, all that to say, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But my faith and my strength, it pushes me and it keeps me for real. Cause I felt like I had people to talk to, but I also felt like I had nobody to talk to.
Mm.
But prayer works. I prayed and I prayed.
Can you about right before I get into what you do, that statement right there? I have people to talk to, but I didn't have people to talk to. It's like when people say, I'm in a crowded room, but I feel lonely. And so many people at times feel like that. Was it that you didn't want to hear people feeling sorry for you and saying, Asha, sorry, or you didn't feel like anyone could feel what you had gone through, even if they maybe had lost a child, or you just really didn't want to hear nothing at the time?
I felt like people didn't want to hear me.
Mm.
I always used to get you strong, you got this, and that. But when I was by myself, they just don't know. I was tearing apart, dying on the inside. And and I was about 260 pounds, 250 pounds around that time. Needless to say, right now, when we get into what I do, that's gonna talk about all of that. I'm under 200 pounds right now.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, the way he was eating people, I said, okay, that's what I got to do, because he's almost to the point where he can, tackle that Mayweather fight like I want to. But I wanna stay right there just for a second. Is there anything somebody could have said to you that maybe might have been a light in that dark time? Because right now somebody might hear that and they might go to somebody tomorrow at work or somebody at the grocery store and repeat that because they heard it here, but people just don't know sometimes what those words could have been.
I don't I I can't even say what anybody said. But I tell you that the Holy Spirit is always speaking to me and guiding me. And the Holy Spirit comfort increases my strength to continue to move forward. I be like sometimes it be people that be so against the good, the healing, and I'm just one who don't mind being by themselves. So whatever I write or wrote during that time, it helped me to get to this point. Releasing, planning, and executing.
And,
But
and
but
that's what
what
you're
I
doing.
but what I say is I took my tragic situation and I did not keep it for myself. I used it to empower other people. That same year, a young lady in my city, she lost her daughter to the same thing, was hit tragically by a car. So I tried to empower her, excuse me, through words of encouragement and upliftment. And that's what I do today. Try to encourage. I don't try. I encourage people and uplift people on a day-to-day basis.
Hello everyone. Come along with London and Sydney as they show you around the vibrant country of Cameroon. We explore the heart of Africa through the eyes of London and Sydney. Two explorers who journey across the great city of Yaoundé, exploring its rich culture, vibrant market squares, cultural heritage, and wildlife. With giggles and excitement, London and Sydney Explore Cameroon takes you on a fun-filled adventure, providing insight into the country's culture and traditions through the pages of this book. It's packed with exciting stories and super cool facts about Cameroon that will make you go, wow. Get your copy now, available on Amazon and in libraries near you. There's only one easy way to experience the exploration of Cameroon, and it's through London and Sydney. Don't wait, get yours.
But when we talk about you professionally, we're going to start just like, what is your community give back that you're doing or you want to do in the future? But you're doing it. So give us the game of what you do and how you encourage people, how you change lives, how you've changed your own life through fitness. The stage, the mic is all yours.
Okay, so first, with my body, I cut out certain things because I want to be in my purest form, which ultimately increased my connection to my higher self and to the higher power. From that, I slowly and moderately lost weight because I didn't want to rush and lose it. I wanted to, it's like it's a process for me. It's a like the hare and the turtle. The race ain't for the swift, but it's for the ones who gonna take it slowly and take each thing as it comes. That's how I live my life. I'm not in a rush, but I want to really draw attention to I want to draw attention to the process.
You know, you're going to have to tell us what it is that you cut out mainly because you're still cooking up good food,
I
got the
am.
fish going. We need to know what was some of those things you cut out so we can try to get those results.
I cut out pork for sure.
Mhm.
I eat pork now though, every now and then, not all the time. I slowed up on starches, rice, sweets. I don't drink soda at all to these days, period, unless I have a ginger beer or a ginger ale. Throughout this whole summer, this in this year, I fasted with one meal a day, but that's increasingly made me drop weight quickly because I fasted the whole summer, but I walked the whole summer too. Drink more water for sure. Eat them fruits, eat those vegetables. But again, eat things in moderation. Don't overdo it. You can enjoy life, find enjoyment in life, but do everything in moderation. That's the key. So I cook a hearty, healthy soup. I use a vegetable soup, which is the theme of my business is from garden to table. So for the last 2 years, I did manage a garden where I grow fruits and vegetables, and I use that stuff to put in the soup, and it helped heal your body, first off. Y'all remember that book, Chicken Soup for the Soul? My
Yeah.
soup is for the soul because I want you to get the best of the best in your body because we got to take care of the body. The mind, what we consume, what we watch, the best of the best, because the mind can get tainted too. And if the mind and the body not aligned, then the soul can't lead you where it needs you to be out here to do the work, the healing work. I ain't gonna say you, I'm gonna say me. If my mind is not consuming what it needs to consume, if my body is not consuming what it needs to consume, then it's not aligning because my heart has to align with it too. So what I consume, if I consume hate, jealousy, that's gonna be in my heart. If I consume all that sugar, it's gonna be in my belly, and ultimately it attacks the heart. So moving the best of the best food in your body and the right things in your mind. That helped me because the heart is the thing that truly matters in this life. All right, so cause I can be talking all day.
Oh, well, with people, is there a difference when you're cooking this food for people? Because one thing I like what you're saying is not just the moderation, but you don't have a, one size fits all. And even though you gave up pork and you lost weight, you gave up soda, but you do have some ginger beers, the ginger ale. Does it matter when you get your food? You say garden at the table. Does it matter if you get your meat from a butcher versus getting it from Publix or Whole Foods or Fresh Market or Walmart? Does that matter in the cooking and the taste and how that makes you feel inside your spirit?
Now, I wish I could butcher my own meat. I don't got that leverage or access, but one day I shall. They call it halal. Halal is good because they do it the right process in the right way. What I've learned is also with the meat, when the meat is slaughtered, it tends to take on those last thoughts and it carries and holds on into this body. But what I will say, I do buy my meat from Publix. I do buy my meat from Walmart. I do go to the meat store. I be scared of chicken, but chicken, I mean, when it's small, I feel like the small chicken is the real chicken. And when it's jumbo, that's that produced chicken, that steroid chicken.
Full of the GMO and everything.
So yeah, I'm throw a plug. GFS has those small chicken wings. That's what I use for my business. And I usually go to Costco as well.
Well, cooking is one side of you, and I know you have a website that I saw. Is that something that is it a home kitchen? Is it a pop-up? Is it something we can get on DoorDash, or do we have to come to the house, during special times, or do you just cater now? How do we get this food?
So I do soup every now and then, once a month, and it's to go. I cook at my house until I get a set kitchen, but I do pop ups every now and then. But right now, my sole focus is catering, and my
Okay.
business is my food, Demetrie's Eatery, which is founded upon my deceased cousin, my deceased son, and my living son. Now they all share the middle name Demetrie. And I might as well throw this out there. I turned 37 yesterday, was my birthday. And I say
Happy birthday.
birth, Bearthday, because that was the day I was born out here on this earth.
Happy born day. Happy born day. That's the food of you where and people you can see he has the prices on the website. Links will be in the description. So when you want some of that food, that good old school food with a healthy twist, you know where to go now, especially if you're in Palm Beach County, South Florida, and possibly beyond with websites like there's a website out there that'll allow you to cook and ship anything. And we're going to get more of those. But what about the community? We met at the elders table. You are always taking notes. You've seen what has happened in the set, Delray, since you were young and what has happened. They tried to gentrify the whole, city. What are you doing politically? Because I know if I ask you about running for office, I think I asked you, like, you shook your head. Kellen, I ain't doing that. So what are you doing to shake up the place? I saw your post today in the group, and I'm like, what are you doing if you're not going to run for office?
Okay, so three things in the community that I do. So back healing is healing through food healing through mindfulness, which I know mindfulness we use to help you supervise on your attention and be more aware of what's going on within and around you. Stillness, exercise, meditation. So, in my political ambitions, what I do to help bring awareness of my community is I use my 3 minutes in public comments almost at every city commission meeting. And you can see that on my Instagram, Kingdom Builder 87. Right now, I just got appointed to a board, the Dairy Beach Public Art Board, Public Art Advisory Board, which is my step into getting into some seats. I said what I said, but I still said I'm gonna be first mayor of Dairy, the black mayor of Dairy. I knocked on doors for campaigns over the last 4 to 5 years. I post on my social media about politics. Oh my God, I just speak the truth. I'm gonna lie. I just speak the truth about what's going on and why a lot of people want to deal with politics, but politics is in everything that we do and live for in America through education, through health, through climate, through the food we eat, through what we watch on TV. It's all politics. And we have to be in the forefront of standing up for what's right. Dr. King said it's always time to do right. And I might be misquoting it, but it's time to do right. And it's time for the government to do right by the people. And that's where I stand. I had a whole speech today and they cut out public comments for the workshop. And I was gonna talk about, do you remember the time? Michael Jackson came to my mind, but it was a whole remember the time where I told y'all that this water is rising on the beach to now. And from where it was in March to where it is now, it shows. And when I gave that when I back in March, I normally write my stuff down. But the spirit just gave me that impromptu to me walking to the podium. This stuff is real. So I write and I speak in public comments. I go to the elders table every Thursday to speak to my people. Cause again, it's about the heart. If your heart not in the right place, none of this even matters. Because your heart brings what's in there out. So if you got hatred and malice and jealousy in there, that's what's gonna come out. But if you got love, peace, and all that good stuff up in there, that's what's gonna show out. And I just live and let my light shine these days for the greater good for all humanity.
We got an election coming up. I always tell people from my lifetime when I've seen it, it's usually Lucifer versus Satan, and people pick one side, and ain't neither one of them right. So for me, I remember being in Grambling, the Harvard of the South, and I would tell the teacher, professor, why don't we all vote third party? Because on both sides, people are tired of being lied to. Politicians ain't changed their pitch, just like salesmen, and a lot of preachers haven't changed their pitch. They're selling you the same thing that benefits them. Why don't we pick as a community? Nobody forces us to vote, but for one side, and you don't have to tell anybody who you voted for, but why don't we pick a third party? You saying you want to run for mayor, would you pick a party, or do you think politics, is it going to come a time where it's so bad, they're going to say, that brother with the FAMU hat always show love. He always show peace. So let's fund that campaign because we've totally lost our way. On one side, we said you can kill babies. On the other side, we said you can kill adults. On the other side, we said stop and frisk in this state is cool. On the other side, we said, no fault accidents, which I got hit. I needed some fault. They hit me. I need some, compensation. And not that 10,000 that they keep trying to give everybody. Like, when do we wake up is my question. When do we say enough is enough in your eyes?
In my eyes, enough was during COVID. When when they force us to separate as a people. But I look at that in the opposite way. Yeah, they forced us to separate, but we needed that time to be amongst our damn selves so we can work on ourselves. And that's the issue with the people of today. We don't want to be by ourselves because we don't want to truly heal ourselves so that we can truly come together for the good of all humanity. And when I run any of these seats, that's where I want to be at the table where we're going to work together as humanity to do good for each other, but also do good for this earth. Because we don't exist without this earth. We don't exist without this breath. We do not exist without the blood that's flowing through our body. And if we don't exist for the good of what we all can do as a team together, what are we doing out here in America but creating division? We're creating a system that needs to be tore down because this class life sucks. The poor and the rich and the middle class. Why? I just simply want to bring heaven to earth where we can all be free, where we can all have the proper necessities, where we can all don't have to worry. Now, yes, money, but we so caught up in the material aspect that we just forget that the spirit used the least one to bring about his messages. And we get so caught up on what somebody have in the physical that we overlook all the good that's working from the spiritual aspect of a person's life. And that's me. I don't got all the riches in the world. Yeah, I want some things because we all want stability. But my spiritual essence and my light shines so bright that it turns so many people away from me. But I use it to better my community, trying to teach them and lead them to heal themselves, to speak up for themselves, but also speak up for the ones who don't want to speak up because they scared, they want to be in the back. That's what I'm going to do. Forget Democrats, forget Republicans, forget Green parties. Let's just be a people united and work together for all of us.
This is an episode, we could go Joe Rogan style, right? But Montre made this interview possible because I said, hey, can we adjust some things? And he said, man, yeah, you in my head because of what he's doing politically on the 5th. And I know he has a son who wants to see him again, and we can do this again. But I wanted to give you guys a taste of this because I need it. I know he has put on the magic glasses without even asking him. I know what pill he took when they said red or blue pill. And what this matrix, when you put on them glasses, you can't force nobody. That's the old saying. Y'all heard Dick Gregory say it. If that's the first place you heard it, great. But those magic glasses, it's a spiritual journey. And the fact that I'm showing you somebody who has taken their journey through the pain and found a way to be able to pay their bills. I don't even want to say just monetize because he's doing more. I really want him put the writings and the book together for the young men who are in the hospital right now, 24 years old, about to lose their wife that they just got with. For the young men who their mama just got cancer, like mine had got, and they don't know what they're going to do without their mother. And then, not even a decade later, they might have met their father and then dies of the same thing, right? That's what I want you to write that story so they know, wow, this is how I can overcome And guess what? You're going to keep losing people as long as you keep living, people. So but I don't want to give him too much because I want your son, I want you to do your dad things at 9:30 in the night that daddy need to do to make sure he know he don't run the house. Daddy got to let him know. We got some order, but please let the people know. And I'm going to have links in the description. How can they get some more of the game, some more of the food? And any last words that you want to leave the people for now? I plan on doing that.
Be a parent amongst parents for your children. You only can be a parent, I ain't gonna say one time. We had an opportunity to change a generation by being parents. Do what's right in front of your kids and teach them their true history, but also don't put them in a bubble. Let them be expressive and let them speak their mind, because we have to be able to speak our mind in truth and wholeness, because kids deal with mental issues too. And those mental issues come from the household that they live in. So we have to allow those kids the opportunity to express themselves. 2, find time to just sit by yourself and don't focus on nothing but your in and out breath. 3, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Kingdom Building 87, or Montre, Montre Bennett, Bennett. You can find my business, 3 Demetrie's Eatery, on Facebook and Instagram. And it's okay to change. It's okay to be by yourself, because in those by yourself times is where you can truly find yourself and your purpose and recognize your gifts. Your gifts is what the Holy Spirit has gifted you with to be a beacon of light in somebody else's life.
You guys have game. Whether you listen to it, I know most of y'all are listeners, but go over to the YouTube, give it a like, share, subscribe. If you're listening to it, give it a rating. Let us know what you thought. One is the truth, so we can help somebody. So I thank you for the comments, the likes, but most importantly, share the game with somebody. It will change their life. Y'all, be blessed.
Are you tired of the violence, tired of the injustice, police brutality, rampant discrimination, lack of gun control in this failed biased socioeconomic experiment called America? Or maybe you need a break from the relentless grind and want to regain control of your destiny, your wealth, your health, and your purpose. DiversifiedGame.com has the right course for you. Prepare for my first trip to Africa. Looking to reconnect with your roots, start a new business, or just a fresh start. Africa, aka the motherland, is waiting. Don't let the Chinese and the Mzungus have the fun and also take over the motherland. From Cairo to Mombasa, from Dakar to Cape Town, Africa has something for everyone, from business opportunities to the most amazing people, safety, leisure, and landscapes. The opportunities abound. It is time for the diaspora to reconnect with their roots. Time to reconnect with the birthplace of humanity. Africa is the last frontier. Get your head in the game and reclaim your legacy. The writing is on the wall. Babylon is falling. Give up the stress, grind, and violence inflicted on our people on this continent and prepare for a journey of restoration and joy by connecting with the land of your ancestors. Check out our new course and kick off your adventure at diversifiedgame.com.